what's this one? What the hell is this one? Wait.
I must say it might be my first win in.
How did it feel to win in this new, interesting setup we've got going on here?
I mean, it felt good. I must say it might be my first win in a storage closet, but you take any win you can get when you're not a Valorant player.
Ooh. Wait, so he commented. Okay, wait. So what are the comments on this? You take anyone that you can get when you're not a Valorant player. So League feels now what it was liked by every other esport when another esport is pushing you out. Interesting.
Ooh.
Let's see what's going on here. Based as fuck for my goat Zeyzal. You can say it. I didn't. Thank you, Zeyzal, for taking one for the team. I'm glad pro players are calling them out. It's very interesting to see the difference between LoL and CSGO audiences. And CSC, there's similar no-crowd events, and they're amazing. Super high stakes, loads of players. Trash talking this one honestly would be the best version of LCS. Players embrace it. Hope all the players are at least say something continuously. This has been pathetic. 2 weeks of no fucking reason. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Players spent 6 to 7 years of having their franchised league and overly inflated salaries and all this other stuff that Riot gave them on a absolute pedestal. They didn't stream. They didn't make content. They didn't tweet. Okay, you go to their fucking Twitters that have been around for 10 plus years. They have sub 10K followers and they get no views on any of their tweets. And now they're crying when Riot is actually moving towards an esports where all of those pro players are doing the exact opposite of that. And then we wonder why. Okay, I like, while I can like laugh and appreciate like what Zeyzal said and I can like understand it, there's no confusion. Let there be no confusion on why Riot has to make the decisions that it makes. I'm almost like blown away at how fucking stupid everyone must be. How fucking dumb everyone is. Pro players in every fucking region took shit for granted that Riot did. Riot was the first fucking organization that came and basically injected cash that didn't exist into the esport. People, I mean, Hotshot GG talked about this, what happened at Riot, right? That like board meeting or whatever, where fucking Mark Merrill or whatever, maybe it wasn't Hotshot GG, maybe it was someone else, where Mark Merrill like wrote on the fucking whiteboard at that big meeting that they were going to do this big prize that no esports ever done before, okay? Because Blizzard fucked up with StarCraft, and OGN and fucking, you know, GSL or GOMTV, OGN, MSL, like all these companies and stuff, they did a really good job, and they made stuff. And again, to this day, StarCraft 1 was larger than League of Legends in South Korea. This is something that not a lot of people realize, okay? As large as League is, and as big as it is, and when you guys see League's reception in South Korea, StarCraft 1 was bigger. So just take that for what that is. But for the love of fucking God, Riot single-handedly did so much for esports as a whole. They caused every company to elevate their shit. That's what Riot did, because they set the fucking standard. And Riot did all these other things, and then they made these franchised leagues, and they gave pro players minimum salaries, and then they gave coaches and coaching staffs minimum salaries, and all these mandated things. And then Riot were the ones that went to the United States government and got the fucking pro player visas and all this other type of stuff. Riot were the ones that helped out with all of this. And then Riot made fucking LCS, and Riot made LEC, and Riot did all these other fucking things. And all these pro players are making so much fucking money, and what did they do with it, man? What did they do with it? Not the grassroots pros. Nothing against any of the grassroots pros. Nothing against any of them. The ones that were always in it from the very beginning, that weren't making any money. Some of them were making money from Twitch and OWN TV, if you guys remember that. And then way back in the day, there was like Justin TV, but that, you know, like, which is, you know, now Twitch. But there was OWN TV, there was a Zubu TV, which was like a scam to my memory. And then there was Twitch TV and all this other stuff, okay? And there were obviously pro players that made a lot of money off of that. And there was YouTube, and there was the YouTube uploads and all this other type of stuff, okay? But it's fucking crazy, man. It's so crazy. If we're actually going to fucking play dumb as to why Riot is going to start to move away from like certain things, and they're going to make these business decisions and all this other type of fucking shit. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? We don't tweet, we don't make content, we don't stream, we don't engage with our fan bases. Everything that we say is like PR and bullshit. Everyone's CBA on fucking everything. People fucking do drugs and get girlfriends and fucking fuck off. They don't even play the fucking game. And then we cry, woe is me, when the leagues start to collapse and like franchises start to fall apart and then teams start to like pull out and like all this other type of stuff, and some teams just never fucking win anymore, and like now like all this other type of stuff is going on and yada 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 yada. And like sure, there's some benefits and there's some fuck me. I'm so sorry, Jake. I can't.
Don't apologize to me, mate.
I'm on my 20th year in esports. I'm on my 20th fucking year. Okay?
Yeah.
There's actually, like, objectively, there are very few people that have been around as long as me. But also, it's all that I've done. You know what I mean? I never had another part-time job. I never did something else for fun. I was just 16, 18 hours a day, every day, esports. That was it. It's my whole fucking life, right? Across several different game titles, whatever. I've been in there with Blizzard. I've been in there with Riot, right? I've played in card games, right? I've talked to people from Wizards of the Coast, right? People at Blizzard, people at Riot Games, like all these other type of stuff. And one of the things that people don't realize, maybe from fucking watching me as like a streamer, herder, fucking idiot, autist, whatever you want to fucking call me, retard, is I've been in meetings with the fucking people in charge, or that call the shots on like very fucking large things that happen. Okay, a part of conversations, like, and this doesn't necessarily mean that I always know like exactly what's going on, or the know-how of like, you know, why things go the way that they do and all this other type of stuff. But I have a pretty good idea of like things that have like filtered and, you know, changed and altered and all this other type of stuff throughout the years. And if you went back and saw some of my fucking clips from 2020, you know, because I know they exist somewhere on YouTube, I talked about a lot of the stuff from some of the meetings that I had with a rioter that is now since retired, about the projected trajectory of various leagues, right? And what would happen with LCS
if you'll allow me to, my thing is just to play devil's advocate here.
Yep.
Do you think your perspective is in some ways skewed by the fact that, so my thing would be, I think from just understanding you as a person, when you have money pumped in, because you are someone that spent so long in your career waiting for resources to be readily available and sort of chasing the fumes of a dream with not much sustenance. So I would imagine from your perspective, if franchising as a model was given and you were given all these minimals, then you would be someone that would take that on board and fully use that and not take it for granted. I worry, because I think there's an inverse to what you're saying. I do think that a lot of players are responsible for not creating content and not being and not fully utilizing it. But I worry that a lot of the VC money that got pumped in is what breeds a lot of complacency. Because I think from your perspective, I can understand that yes, it would drive you to be more motivated. But I think a lot of these kids, especially when you think, I think one of the socioeconomic makeups of how NA works is that a lot of them are already in favorable socioeconomic positions to get into the league.
Players?
I think so, yeah.
No, I think not. I don't think a lot of players actually come from affluent backgrounds.
I think there would be more in North America, just from my understanding. I could be wrong on this. I've not done the research into it. I would be more inclined to believe that in America, especially because you don't have the fallback of like social, whatever the word for it is. But like for example, in EU, like you can go back to university at any time. Like your healthcare is mandatorily free in most countries. You have time to make mistakes. Whereas in America, I would assume that like league career is a lot more dangerous if you don't have something to fall back on.
Well, I mean, culturally, games aren't accepted in America, right? Compared to some other countries.
Yeah, no, I would think that's a factor as well.
So there's that, right? I know that there's like jokes that like not like when I say jokes, I don't mean like actual jokes. I mean like Busio, like there's like a gag that like Busio is like the most normal pro, right? And what I mean by that is like Busio comes from like a very healthy household, and I think he also comes from like money, right? And like when you actually get into the nitty gritty of like a lot of pro players, typically that's not the case. Typically they're like isolated. They spammed games an unholy, unhealthy amount because that was their escape. Then they happened to get good at games, right? And I think that's the story for a lot of NA pros. I could be wrong. I know a lot from my own subjective experiences. I know that a lot of them had very bad backgrounds. You know, I'm curious what Valorant is like. You know, like, but anyways, yeah, TLDR, like, to include the Zeyzal thing. Yeah, I mean, it like, yes, okay, the situation with LCS is like what it is, but I don't like it. There's something that just rubs me really bad when pros are playing dumb. Like, remember the whole walkout thing last year? The whole walkout thing was crazy too.
I'm more inclined to agree with you on that. My general point was, in regards to this, I think it's a very nuanced and complicated thing. I do think there is an emphasis of blame, and I think what I do resonate with in your argument is I don't think enough talk is put on to that side of the argument. But I think there is a balance of powers there, where I think that a lot of things in regard to like the VC structure of franchising and whatnot, too quick, a lot of like lack of foresight. I mean, you can even just look at like what we were talking about before previously, about the esports bubble, I think, like in regards to it popping and like not realizing there's a return. I think there was a gross overestimation of where the industry would grow to and why it would grow there without a lot of the short-term planning. We're sort of just in very approximate irony to the idea of like the American dream. I think immediately people assume that this is the American dream and this is where we're going, and the streets are paved in gold, just, you know, trust in the process and whatnot. And I think we're now reaping the consequences of that, in which case I think onus needs to be placed on both sides. So I wouldn't go quite as partisan as what you presented.
Hold on, do we have a beer commercial during CB LOL? Wait, Heineken? It's Heineken, right?
Yeah, no, I think they have alcohol sponsors.
Oh, so you saw Dom got crucified, right, for the gamble sponsor thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, people better fucking buckle up for what's coming later this year. Holy.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, esports and teams will get their money from somewhere. So all this fucking, oh my god, you know what? I need Raynad on stream to like talk about it. He puts it so much better poetically than I can. When like talking about subjects like this, where people go on like tirades about things that they don't actually care about, but that they not pretend to care about. I'm trying to see, like, the words escape me here on how to.
I mean, so here's my take on it. So yeah. I think am I able to get into this? Like, because we're beating around the bush, but I think it's obvious what you're talking about. No, I don't know if you want to get into it. Like, because the event you're referring to later this year is the. Can I we address the elephant in the room here?
Fine.
Yeah, so it's the big Saudi thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, you and I got into an argument about this, right?
Yeah. No, we did.
Yeah.
When we met the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. You and I got into a very big argument because I don't think that we're gonna go into it right now. But the TLDR is that I basically said, like, it's like, what was that quote that I referenced? It's something about how, like, every day someone dies that you get closer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm getting at. So, like, there's no that is inevitable.
My thing is just in terms of just integrity and honesty, that I think I would like to see, because I do think it's an inevitability. I mean, my argument is always, in regards to what I was talking about otherwise, is there is a complexity that means you need to view it in full kind of cerebrality and nuance that is, I think the same people that like wage war against Saudi money, well, they're not attached the same strokes with where other money comes from, but that's not to excuse the element of the Saudi money. You should critique all of it, but you shouldn't have like, Lavia and Rose goggles put on towards that kind of money. My main thing is I think we need to just accept the condition of what is coming. And then once you've done that, you can really start to see the dishonesty and the lack of integrity that some people engage in when they try and move the goalposts. Because it's similar to the quote you were saying about an extra person. I think the messaging that is included in some of these things, it's like we have the initial outrage when ESL gets bought, or you have even the Neon deal, people regards to that, and then slowly but surely, as it becomes more ingratiated, we slowly begin to accept it more and more. I think the people that are smart enough to consciously accept what's going on and just ignore it and complicit, those are the true people that are being entirely dishonest. IMO.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely,
That's my
absolutely.
take.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, I'm not gonna say my stand. I mean, you're aware of what my stance is. Yeah. And obviously, I'm devoid of a lot of like emotion on like certain subject matters that I don't. Yeah.
It's understandable with the person you are. But
Yeah.
speaking of people that exist in the world, there's obviously 5 players on the screen right now that will be embarking on a game in recent in future moments.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a segue.
There you go. That was indeed a segue.
This is INTZ. I mean, what do we know about them? It spells ints, but it's not quite ints. I mean,
It's not quite ints, is it? It's not quite ints. However, as we step into the draft, neither are they inting. However, it does seem like Shibai. Sorry.